yeah, you got enough, my leg.
Hello, everybody. We're back here for Mellow Monday on this lovely first Monday in May. Hope you're all doing well and you've had a great weekend. We've got Callum here as usual to show you all the activities today. Give everyone a wave, Callum. Hello, and Loretta here to tell you all about it. Now, last week we had a lot of comments about useful kind of thing you might need. And one of the things was the fact that we're doing a lot of time sitting at the moment, whether it be sitting at our dining table on our laptops if we're working from home, or it might just be sitting watching telly or reading or playing on games consoles. So being in that position for a long period of time has its issues, so we get lots of aches and pains, and we need to really have a look at how we can best address that and make sure that every so often we do a bit of stretching and stuff to help it out. Okay, so as usual, we are coming to you live. We are running these sessions in partnership with Active Sussex and REBOOT, hopefully to get teens and their families active across Sussex, but of course everyone else of all ages and all around the world is welcome to join in. We'd love to hear from you. So Mellow Mondays is just one of several sessions through the week, and you will see in our posting there's a link to go to the Active Sussex website and see the rest of the schedule. Make sure you check on this link because it's updated from last week. We've got a couple new activity providers in, so lots more fun stuff to do. And don't forget to come back and see us again on Wednesday when we do our adapted sports session. This week it's going to be football, so get your legs ready. Okay, so today is all about being seated but keeping active and moving. So Callum's got a nice cosy chair to sit on here. He's quite comfy. And we're going to start off with some stretches to basically get our bodies back into a good position after we've been seated for a long time. Okay, so your focus now is on Callum, and I'm going to leave you to watch him while I tell you what to do. So the first exercise we're going to do this morning is called the chest squeeze. So you're going to bring your arms together in front of you at elbow height. And you're going to push the palms of your hand together. So I'm just going to show you how this one can work. So you've got your palms of your hand together. You're keeping it at elbow height. You can be in a seated position, that's fine. And you're actually going to push the palms of your hands together. And if you push the heel bit here of your hand, you should feel that coming through the back of your shoulders. So we're stretching those shoulders when we've been sort of hunched over and bent over a laptop. So let's just push those together, and we're going to hold them for about 20 seconds. So keep your hands nice and high. Try and keep the heel of the hands in together. That's lovely. And we're just going to hold this here for a little bit longer. So keep holding that one there. Doing really well. And we're just stretching out and pulling on those shoulder blades. You should feel it if you make sure the pressure comes through the bottom of your arm here and pushes the heel of your hands together. If you hold in that position, you should feel it stretching back here. Okay, we're going to move on to our next one. So after each stretch, just make sure you relax and let your arms get back to normal. That's it. Have a nice jiggle, Callum, so we know you're all relaxed again. Okay, and then this one, this is a tricep stretch. So what we're going to do is we're just going to turn Callum's chair around for a minute so you can see this as how it will look over the back. So this one goes over your back. So Callum, you're going to bring your left arm up and you're going to bring it down your back like that. And then we're just going to use the other arm to pull this elbow over and make sure it's stretching as far as it can. So you should feel the stretch all the way down here. Are you feeling that, Callum? Is that tickling at all? No. Okay, we won't tickle him. But you should feel the stretch all the way down here. And again, we're going to hold that for about a count of 20. So try and sit nice and still when you're doing this. Don't jiggle, Callum. Okay. And when you've stretched all that out, what we're going to do, sorry, cage door open today, calamities. When that's all nice and stretched out, what we're going to do is we're going to swap arms. And then you do it on the other side. So that's something really important to remember. I think I've told you this before, is that if you're doing something to one side of the body, you should always do it to the other so we get nice equal reactions. Okay, Callum, let's swap sides. So relax. Remember to relax and jiggle between, because we want to get that everything loose and moving. We don't want to be all stiff and stretched out. Okay, and the other one. That's very good. Okay, lovely. I wasn't sure if you'd be able to move that one around there, but you've done really well. So well done, Callum. And remember, of course, same with Callum as with the rest of you. If there's any parts of your body that work differently, or you have some stiffness or trouble moving those bits of your body, you just do what you can and work it how you can for you. There's no right or wrong. And if you can't do it, it's not a failure. You just use it and adapt it slightly to suit you. Okay, it's all about helping you. You don't have to look like the picture. All good. Right, so we're just holding this stretch. Can you feel that stretch through your upper arm, Callum?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, a few more seconds. You should just feel all of that tension coming through your arm. And these are all really nice exercises for if you've been in that seated position. We're going to do these set again at the end of today's session because I think these are really important. They're really simple, easy to remember, but they're really important to use. And if you just do this, 2 or 3 times a day, if you've been seated for that long period of time, it will really help you. Okay, right. Oh, Callum's in the middle of stripping. Right, let's turn your chair back around, Callum. There we go. That's it. So if you sit yourself down again. Okay, and we're going to go on to our next stretch now. So we're looking at our wrists, and what we want to do is we want to do the opposite of what we've been doing. So if you've been gaming or you've been on your laptop, you've had your hands and your wrists in this position. You might have been tapping on a keyboard or doing whatever it is you do with your fingers when you're playing PlayStation. Don't know. Xbox something like that. Xbox. How do you hold an Xbox, Callum?
Just like that.
There we go. Yeah, so you're doing that. All right. See, I was right. Totally down with the kids. Anyway, so what we're doing now is we're going to stretch those wrists out because you've had the wrist bent down in this position. They're down like this. Yeah, let me come closer and show you. There we go. So your wrists have been down like this, and we want to stretch them out so you're just getting rid of any tension down here and any tightness in those muscles. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold our hands out in front of us and just very gently pull back on the hand. So you can probably see the tension in my arm. If you watch closely, as you stretch back here, you can see along here this tension increases because what we're doing is we're just stretching out here to counteract that position. Okay, so Callum, you're just going to hold your hand back like that. That's it. Keep it nice and still. And Callum's obviously doing it with a fist shape. That's fine. You can do it with a fist. You can do it with a flat hand, as long as we're holding it nice and stretched down. If it's easier for you, you can do it up the other way. So you can have your hand out this way and you can push your hand back in that direction so your wrist is going downwards. So I'll just show you from the side there again. Okay, so it's whichever way up works for you. You should feel the stretch around here because this is the bit we're looking to combat. So if you've done the other arm now, let's swap over. We're going to move over to the other arm and do that one. Okay, that's good. It's tricky for you to stretch that hand, isn't it?
It's all right.
It's all right. Get a bit of a stretch going on there, can't we? Okay.
Helps my blood.
Yes. Right, this time we're going to move Callum's chair sideways so you can see this stretch better. So let's just pop you there. A little bit closer. There you go. Right, and this one is going to be arching our back. So what happens is you've been sitting there all day, and I do this all the time. I'm really bad at this. I'm on my laptop or I'm reading and I suddenly realise I'm like this and I look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and that's really, really bad for our back. We don't want to do that, okay? But we all do it. Don't tell anyone that I do. Shh. Anyway, what we want to do then to counteract that is we need to arch our back out and stretch it. So just down here, this bit of our back, we want to curve it in. So Callum, if you just bend over in a really naughty position, right? This is naughty. Okay, this is our slouched position. We don't want this, all right? No. So when we realise we're doing that, this is a really easy one to do whenever you're sitting. Just stretch up, okay? And you want the back to curve inwards. If I just follow that down there, you can see Callum's back is actually arched and curving inwards. So we're going to push that right back. One way you can do this is you can put your hands on the sides of your body like this, and you can kind of push it forward. So Callum, if you just put your hand on the side there, and it's almost like you're pushing forwards here on this arch bit. Can you feel that gives you a bit more pressure?
Yeah.
And of course, the other thing it does, if you do that position, is you're stretching out your shoulders as well. So we're going from this bent over position, we're stretching our shoulders back, bringing our arms down to here, and we're pushing, stretching our arms back and arching our back. And as I said, that's a really nice one to do when you're seated, because you can do it in your position where you are without moving around or making any special adjustments, but it really stretches it out. So just do that one more time to show everybody, Callum. Okay, if you lift your arm forward so people can see the arch of your back. Now lift your arm forward. That's it. And you can see the arch of Callum's back here, curving in. So that's what we want to achieve. And again, like the other stretches, hold it for a few seconds so you can really feel it. And what should happen is after you've done a few of these stretches, you should actually feel a bit better. You should feel a bit looser and everything shouldn't be as stiff and achy. Okay, so it really is worth doing. Right, next stretch, we're going to stretch our triceps out. So, Callum, we're going to interlock our fingers. We're going to turn our palms outwards. And we're going to push away from us. Right, and again, you should feel the stretch up here. And you should feel it round here. Are you feeling it in those places?
No.
Where are you feeling it?
I don't feel it anywhere.
Okay, so you need to push a bit further. So make sure you're interlocking those fingers. Push away from you.
That's better.
Yeah. Okay, so do what Callum's doing. Think about where the stretch is, where you're feeling it for you. And if it's not working, readjust your movement, because if it's not working, it's not doing any good. So you need to think about it each time. If that stretch isn't helping you, make sure you adjust and keep it going. Remember, by the way, we are on live chat. So if anyone's having any trouble with any of these stretches, just pop a message up there and myself or Maddie will pick up on it and make sure we help you out. We're here to try and make sure you can get use out of all these little activities. Okay, last stretch in this section for you is the overhead shoulder stretch. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our arms above our head. We're going to use those interlocked fingers again with our palms upright. So that's it, just like that. Okay, and we're going to push up. So put your head forward and push up. So you can see there, we're really raising up all this section of the arm here. And if you're anything like me and like everyone, when we're working on laptops and we're gaming, we're very much crouched down. You can see your shoulders are dropped. You're crouched down in that position. When you do this, you're making the opposite movement. So you're really pulling those shoulders up and lengthening out those muscles and letting them relax and stretch out. Okay, well done, Callum. Right, give yourselves a little jiggle after that. Let's get nice and loose. Okay, we're going to move on to our next section for today. Now, we're still staying in our seated position. I'm just going to turn the chair back down so you can see Callum's beautiful face again. There we go. Love a bit of seeing Callum's face. And we're going to move into our 3 minutes seated yoga positions. Now, these are really good to do. And a lot of these little simple activities and things can be found online on various places. So do have a look if you want to vary what you're doing. There's lots out there. We're going to start off today with our body fold. So, Callum, you're going to be sitting up straight, because remember we've learned about our posture now. We've thought about how we want to be. So you're going to be putting your hands on your knees, legs together, and then you're going to curl in. So we're going to curl your head in and curl your shoulders in. Okay? So try and get your head down to your chin. No, that doesn't make sense. Try and get your chin down to your chest. That makes sense. And then let's hold that position just for a few seconds. Okay? So chin to your chest, folded in like that, nice and curled up. And this is a nice relaxing position. Again, this whole set, this little set of yoga that we're going to do for you now is stuff that you can do, you know, in the office. You can do it sitting down. So a lot of these things we're working with you on today, you can take away and use after you're stuck at home. When you're back in the office or back in the workplace, these are all things you can still do. Okay, Callum, sit back up for me now. And our next activity is a stretch up. So we want our hands up at this angle. We're going to go straight up into the sky. We're going to tilt our chin up this time and stretch our whole body upwards. So for these poses, we're keeping our knees together, Callum, legs nice and straight on the floor. That's it. And a real big stretch upwards. So you should feel this coming right up through your side abdominals here. Yeah. We're getting all stretched out. You can feel that one, can you? That's good. Okay, and relax. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to push that a little bit more. So sometimes we do this activity standing up. Oh, there's Dave, the office dog. Hello, everybody. So we're going to put our arm back up to the sky again over our head, Callum. And we're going to bend over to the side and try and pull that arm over with us. Now, remember, when you're doing this, Callum's got really good at this these days. Don't bend forward, because if you bend forward, you're not getting the right stretch. You need to be going over sideways, and you should feel it all down here. As I said before, the important thing to know is where you feel the stretch. If you're feeling it in the right place, you're doing a good job. Okay, and back to centre. And relax again.
Hold on.
Okay, and now we're going to do the other side. So arm up over your head, this side. That's it, and stretch across. And again, you should be feeling it right the way down here.
Yeah.
Is that a tickly bit? Oh, that is a tickly bit. Oh dear, I messed it up. Okay, and come back to normal for me. Right, and now this one is really tricky. Callum finds this one tricky because his arm doesn't necessarily go where he wants it to for this. But this one is called the Lotus Twist. And what we're going to do is we have to have the palm of our hands facing away from each other like that. And then we interlock our arms and bring the palms of our hands, the backs of our hands, sorry, towards each other. So we're going to have our hands touching on their backs. And we're going to hold this up and try and put our arms up so that they're in height with our shoulders. So here, your elbows want to come up nicely, so they're up here. I'm just going to show you a side-on view here. So if you've got your hands back to back, and you're going to lift up like that, so you can see here your arm is on the same height as your shoulder. Okay, and again, that stretch should pull up on the back of your shoulder blades, and you should also feel it down the back of your arms a little bit. Okay, now we're going to do our hands and our legs at the same time. So we're going to have our alternate ones. So you're going to start off here, Callum, with raising up your left arm straight, and you're going to raise up your left knee at the same time. Now try not to bend. Oh no, sorry, your right knee. That's right. So try and keep that leg straight, and just raise up. That's it, as high as you can. This one stays at shoulder height, but try and raise that knee as high as you can, keeping it in a straight line. What we don't want to do is pull the feet into the middle. So just try and keep it straight. And don't cheat by resting on the bar under the chair. I'm watching you. Okay, that one down. Now keep an eye on Callum, make sure he doesn't cheat. If he does, just let me know. We're going to keep this arm in the same height as your shoulder. And we're raising up the other knee. Okay, now just pop those down for a minute and rest for me. Now one thing that happened during that stretch that's quite common and that happens to all of us quite often is your bottom slips forward on the chair. And then you're not in the right position to do it. So, Callum, what you need to do is make sure your bottom's pushed right back into the back of the chair.
Yeah.
Now, often it's quite good to just check mentally and think, can I feel the chair against my back? Because that's where you need to be. So push that back and just try that again. So just put your left arm up in the air for me to shoulder height and raise up that right leg. Okay, so that's good. That's nice and straight. Okay, I'm back down. And we know Callum's concentrating today because he's sticking his tongue out. So that's good work. Well done, Callum. Okay, last position of this section for us today is our half lotus. So what we're going to do is have one foot on the floor, flat. That's it. And the other foot is going to come up and cross over your knee. There, so you can see in front of your body here, your leg crosses across, your ankle goes just over the top of your knee there. And what we're going to do is just keep that nice and straight. And if you feel comfortable doing so, you can slightly push down on this knee and just try and get a bit of pressure pushing through there and just feel that stretch. But don't push it hard so you hurt yourself, just so you feel the stretch. Okay, and now we can swap over legs and do it the other side. Lovely, that's a nice, easy position. Okay, so that was your 3 minutes of seated yoga for today. And we're going to move on to our next section. So we've done our stretches to look at trying to get back and mobile again after we've been sitting down for a long period of time. And now we've done a little bit of seated yoga there for you. So bear in mind, all the things we're doing today, they could easily be used by someone who's in a wheelchair or who isn't mobile whenever they want to. So it doesn't just have to be if you've been in that position doing laptops or computer work or something. It could be for someone who's permanently seated and wants a bit of relief on those muscles. So think about that as well. We're now going to move on and look at the neck, because part of the problem when we're sitting for long periods of time, particularly if we're looking at screens and things, is we tend to have our neck and our head in a bad position, and we can end up with lots of pain and tension in those areas. I know I do. I carry a lot of tension in the back of my shoulder blades here, And that's from doing stuff on the laptop all the time, and because I don't think about my posture often enough, which is very naughty, obviously. So we're going to try and counteract that a little bit by stretching out the neck and the head. Do enjoy the humming in the background as well. Callum's quite melodic, isn't he, as well as providing exercises. It's all quite relaxing. So, yeah, I appreciate our white noise machine here. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to tilt our head backwards and forwards. Now, we just got to be a little bit careful with this one because we don't want to put too much pressure on when we go backwards because of the top of the spine. So just nice and gently, we're just going backwards and forwards just to wake up the neck and head a little bit if we've been in a static position for a long time. And again, keep going. Okay, we're just going to do 5 of each of these today, I think. How many are we up to, Callum? Was that 4?
Yeah.
1 more, forward and back. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing side to side. So bring your head back to central. That's it. Now we're going to go from side to side. No, we're going to bend our head like that. That's it. So you're trying to bend so that your ear is coming down towards your shoulder and then the other way. And again, as always with stretches, don't hurt yourself. You shouldn't be feeling any pain. You should just feel a bit of a stretch. So it shouldn't hurt. It should just maybe feel a bit, you should feel a bit of tension there. That's it. Done 5 of those? Yeah. Lovely. Okay, now this one is your neck rotation, which is what you wanted to do just now. So we're going to be keeping our chin up straight and looking from shoulder to shoulder. So again, 5 times to each shoulder. How many times you done, Callum?
Done.
Done. Excellent. Right. Now we're going to use a little bit of pressure on our head and try and push against our hands. So you're going to have your hands up behind your head here. You can either interlock your fingers or you can just put your hands individually behind your head and you're just going to push back. So you're feeling as if you're pushing your head back into your hands. So if we're sideways on, you can see your hands behind your head and you're just going to push back against them like that. So you're lifting your chin up, pushing backwards. And you're just going to hold that for a count of 10. Make that hand join in. Gets lazy sometimes, we have to tell it off. Okay, and when you've done that for a few seconds, we're going to do the opposite. So now you're going to put your hand on your forehead. That's it, and you're going to push forward. So remember, you're not moving the rest of your body, just your head. Just your head is pushing into your hands. And again, you should feel that pressure going through your head and your neck. No pain, just a little bit of pressure. Okay, now, quick rub of your eyes. Yeah, we're getting mellowed out on our Monday. And now we're going to do it side to side. So you're going to put your hand up at the top of your head and just support your wrist there and push against your hand. So I'm going to just come up close and show you this so you can get the picture. Hand at the top of your head, support your wrist and push against your hand. And again, we'll just hold that for a count of a few seconds. Okay, and then you swap over. So swap over, Callum. Hand on the other side of your head, support your wrist and push into that hand. Now, when you're doing that, you should feel the stretch on the opposite side. So if I'm pushing into this hand, I should feel a stretch down here, and it's mainly around this bit of the shoulder here. And this is where we get a lot of tightness when we are sitting in those positions for long periods of time. Okay, now last one of these today is our chin exercise. So we're going to take our chin. You can do it the way we normally do it, Callum. So we're going to hold our chin with the opposite hand, and just pull it to the side. So we're pulling our chin round to the side. And again, we hold that for a few seconds. And we can feel all of these muscles stretching a little bit in the back of our shoulders. Okay, and we're going to swap sides and do it the other way. You should feel the stretch now down here. Okay, Callum, you can relax now. Lovely. So if you've been following that and doing it with us at home, hopefully what you'll feel is this area all around the top of your shoulders and the back of your neck should feel a little bit looser and a little bit more comfortable than that kind of tensed up feeling you get sometimes if you've sat too long. Did you find that helped a little bit?
Sleepy.
Made you sleepy, did it? Made you relaxed?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. It's a Mellow Monday, so that's a good thing to do. Okay. We're moving on to our next section now. Now, this is where we usually look at some mindfulness activities or something like that. And today we're going to be using baked beans. Now, other beans are available. Generally, when we do this activity, we do it with a tennis ball, but we wanted to use items that are specifically available at home that you can all get out of your cupboards or you might have with you. If you've got a tennis ball, please do use it, or you can use a football or anything else like that if you want to. We're using a can of beans because we're pretty sure that everyone's got some kind of can in the house or a rolling pin or something you can roll with. So what we're doing with this activity is we're squashing out our muscles a little bit. So if you imagine a nice big sheet of pastry and you're squashing it all out when you roll your rolling pin, that's kind of what we're doing. We're applying a bit of pressure and we're going to roll this can up and down our body. So Callum, you're going to start with us on this leg. Okay, so start as far as you can down the body. Callum, let's just move you back a tiny bit because I want everyone to be able to see what you're doing. So sit yourself down here for me. Yeah. Okay, so you can start again now. And you'll see that Callum's starting right down by his ankle as far as he can. And what he's going to do is he's going to roll that can all the way up that leg. Do this nice and slowly and steadily. Try and apply a bit of pressure as you're rolling. And what he's doing is it's just loosening your muscles off a little bit. It's like as if you're rolling out your pastry. So it's squidging out those muscles and making them a bit more comfortable. When you've got up to the top of your leg, we're going to roll up the body. Does get a bit tricky sometimes. Mind your toes if you drop your can.
Yeah, it would hurt.
Yeah, it would. Okay, and you're going to stop there. And what we need to do now is swap hands. Now, Callum's other hand is a bit tricky, so shall I hold this for you? So you're now going to come down your arm. So we're going to roll it all the way down your arm. Okay? Nice and slowly, applying that pressure. And when you're doing this yourself, you can see what side of your arm you want it on and what bits feel good and what don't. And we're just trying to really squeeze a little bit as we go. Then we're going to come right up to Callum's neck here. And we're going to start again on the other side. So you'll need to swap arms at this point. So Callum, you want to get your arm up here. And we're going to try and roll all the way down this arm now. That's it. Remember, you're using your fingers and your thumb to move. And you're just trying to apply a bit of pressure. You jump your watch, yeah, don't roll your watch.
Expensive watch.
Okay, and back up the body. And then we do the same down that side. So you're rolling back down this side of the torso and back down the leg. Now that's a really nice simple exercise you can do anytime you want to. And it's just to relieve those muscles a little bit from stiffness and stress and help you feel a bit more comfy. And, you know, do it as many times as you want to. You're not going to hurt yourself. And just put as much pressure on there as you want to do. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about grounding today. Now, sometimes, you know, as we've mentioned before, in our lives and in our situations, everything gets a bit stressful. And we just need ways to sort of calm down or get back to basics. And grounding is a really good way of using mindfulness to help us connect with the moment and where we are and what we're doing. And sometimes to stop our minds from racing ahead and thinking about all the other things that are going on or things that are happening the next day. Sometimes we just need to bring that back and just get back to connecting with the moment. And one of the ways of doing that, which is really useful if you are sitting in a one position or you're at work and you can't necessarily go off and get bits of equipment or do meditating where you feel comfortable. So one of the ways of doing that is this grounding exercise. And this is just to make you think. So there's a few questions here that you can use to kind of bring you back to the moment and get you grounded and stop your brain racing. So we're going to just run through this with Callum. Do join in with us at home. If you want to pop any of your answers up on live chat, please do. Maddie will keep an eye. So we're going to run through 11 questions with you. So we're going to start by thinking about our anxiety level now. So you're going to rate your anxiety on a scale of 1 to 10. So Callum, how anxious are you at the moment?
Probably about 5.
About 5. So Callum's midway. He's probably a little bit anxious because he's live on YouTube. That could be a reason, couldn't it? Anyway, so he's on a 5 at the moment. So number 2, Callum, we've got an activity for you. Sit up straight and tall. Place your feet on the floor and relax your shoulders. So drop those shoulders down nice and low. Lovely. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, we're going to breathe slowly and deeply. So when you're doing this, try and breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. If that's tricky, you can just use your mouth or your nose, whichever one works for you. But generally, we try and breathe in through our nose, out through our mouth. That's it, really nice and slow. Lovely example there, Callum. Okay, number 4, we're going to start on our questions now. How many windows are in the room?
5.
They're okay, with 5 windows in this room. So have a look around your rooms at home. Think how many windows there are. Again, we're talking about this grounding. We're bringing ourselves back to the centre. Okay, how many electrical sockets can you see? There's probably lots of extension leads in this house.
See or no?
No, you've got to see them.
None.
Uh-oh. Okay, ours are actually quite well hidden. Have a look around your room. Obviously, if you're in the workplace, there might be a few more available in sight. Now, what does the chair you're sitting on feel like? Think of some descriptive words to how it feels. Soft, rough, smooth. How would it feel?
The backboard thing's quite hard.
Yeah?
The cushions in the medium softness.
Yeah? Okay, lovely.
That's bad.
So remember at home, you're thinking about your chairs and your sofas you're sitting on. How does it feel to you? Okay, what colour are your trousers today, Callum?
Blue.
Yeah, I reckon they're grey, but we'll let him go over that if he wants to have blue trousers. Okay, so everyone at home, what colour are your trousers? They're not white, they're blue. Okay.
Yeah, the navy.
And what colour are your shoes? You haven't got shoes on. So what colour are your socks?
Black and red.
Black and red. Okay, we're focusing on little details. This may seem a bit silly, but we're focusing on little details to bring us back to centre and make us think of what's happening now. Okay, next one. What's the material on the floor feel like? So lose your feet. Just rub the floor. Okay, it feels hard. Anything else?
Slidey.
Slidey. So it's slidey and it's hard. Can you see any imperfections in the floor? So have a look around and see if you can see any wear spots. Can you see any? Notice anything about the floor? Okay, so yeah, we've got some laminate floor in here, and the boards are starting to wear a bit at the edges, aren't they? Okay. Now, next question for you. This could take a long time. I think I'm going to have to limit you on this one.
No.
On our question, it says, name all the TV shows you can think of. But I think with Callum, we're going to have to say, name 5 TV shows, or we could be here a very long time.
Yeah.
You haven't named me any.
Avengers Assemble.
Avengers Assemble.
Mightiest Heroes.
Right.
Superhero Squad. Avengers Secret Wars.
Okay.
And Spider-Man.
Some of you may have noticed a slight theme there. Callum is slightly superhero mad. Now, there are other TV shows available. Please think of your own. And Ray's just made a really nice point on our live chat here is one of the things we need to think about in terms of easing our anxiety and our stress levels is trying to avoid watching all those news programs and announcements all the time. Of course, it's really good to be updated with what's happening in the world, but at the moment, with so much attention on COVID-19 and all the rules and regulations, sometimes we do need to switch that off and not always listen. So do take a break and relax, as Ray says. That's really important. Okay, next one we're moving on to is number 11. Name all the types of shapes you can think of.
Circle, square, octagonal.
Very good. Octagon.
That one. Square, rectangle, a star, cylinder.
Oh, we're getting technical now. Very good. Okay, just a little bit of brain work there. Get your brains moving. Okay, and now we're going to think about our anxiety level again. So how's your anxiety level now?
About 2.
About a 2. So that's a success. Fantastic. So if you do these kind of exercises at home, Obviously, you can make up your own questions on the grounding exercises. It's just about things around you and using your senses. So we were thinking about observation. We were thinking about maybe listening. You could listen out for what noises are around you. We thought about sense of touch, so how the chair felt. We're also getting our cognitive skills going and thinking of things we know already. So it's all ways of using those senses to bring you back into the current moment and sometimes take away that sense of panic or stress that can overwhelm us a little bit, especially with the world situation at the moment. So really nice little skills to use. And thank you very much, Callum, for answering our questions. I hope you played along at home. And do let us know if you've got any really good questions you can use. The other point to note is when you get to the end of that, if your anxiety level is still high or it's got no better than it was in the first place, you can always go through the questions again until you calm down. There's no limit to how many times you can go through it. Okay? Lovely. Right, that brings us back to finishing again on our stretches. Now, as I said again at the beginning of the session, what we want to do is we want to run through these stretches with you again because they're really nice ones to use in any situation where you've been seated for a long time, and this can be, at the kitchen sink or in your workplace or just sitting on your sofa. They're really easy to do, so that's why we wanted to repeat them again now for you so that you can make sure you can put them into play. So, Callum, we are starting with our chest squeeze. So remember, everybody, this is hands together, really pushing the heel of your hand into each other and just holding that for a few seconds. And you should feel that tightness across the back of your shoulders. Are you feeling that, Callum? Remember, if you're not feeling it, just adjust your position slightly until you do. You may need to move your hands up and down a bit. You may need to think about how you're holding your arms. Just make sure you're getting to feel those stretches, or they're obviously not going to work. Okay, now we're going to do our tricep stretch. You're going to put your hand up and over your head, and we're going to use the other hand just to tuck this shoulder over. So if I just show you from the back view, we've got our hand going down our back here, and this arm is going to pull that elbow just to increase the stretch a little bit. And you should be feeling the stretch down here, down the outside of your arm here. You should be feeling that stretch. Okay, swap arms for me, Callum, please. There we go, and now we're stretching the other arm. So again, you should be feeling the stretch down here, and you should be using your opposite hand to just pull that down. Callum's clearly very mellow today because he's yawning again. So obviously it's working. Okay, now it's our wrist stretch. So again, we're going to put our arm in front of us, and we're going to use the other hand just to gently push that hand backwards. That's it, and we'll show you from the side here. So your hand is out in front of you, and you're just going to push backwards. And you can see down here is stretching. Just gently push. Now remember, with these stretches, we don't want any sudden movements. You don't want to really, try and smash your hand because you're just going to damage yourself. So it's just about gently stretching out. Okay, Cam's now doing it sideways. We've tried it upwards and downwards, and Cam's doing it sideways. So he's adapting because I'm not watching him. Very good, Cam. Okay, whichever way you're comfortable, you're looking at stretching the wrist, that's fine. Now it's your back arch time. So remember, you're going to put your hands on your sides here, and you're going to feel that back. So we're looking for moving from this humped over position where we're sometimes doing things in front of us on the table. We're going to push our shoulders back, and we can just use our arms here to push forwards a little bit and help arch our backs. So that should help stretch out your spine, and it should help stretch your shoulders out here too. And remember to try and hold these stretches for maybe sort of 20 seconds if you can. If you're short on time, just 10 seconds. Anything helps. It's just to get your back and your body feeling a bit better and more comfortable. Okay, Callum, we're going to move on to your tricep stretch. So everybody, interlock your fingers, palms outwards, and you're just pushing that away from you. How's that feeling?
Good.
Have you got, where's it feeling the stretch? Yeah, okay, so you're feeling it at the back of the shoulder blades, and you should also feel it slightly down here. You should feel it along the outside of the arm. If you're really sort of pushing away from you, you should feel that stretch in your arm and your shoulders. Okay, and last one for today. So we're going over our heads. We're keeping our fingers interlocked, and we're pushing up to the sky away from you. And this should also stretch the arms, the shoulders, And where you're pushing, if you're pushing nice and solidly, you should feel your stomach and your abdomen all stretch out a little bit as well as your spine. Now remember, when you're doing some of these things, sometimes you'll hear a few clicks and crunches, and that's fine. That's everything moving around. That's okay. And okay, you can relax now, Callum. And that is the end of our Mellow Monday session for this week. So this was a special session all about being seated for a long time and how we can help you feel more comfortable after that. If you've got any questions for us, do remember to put a message up. You can message us on YouTube, or you can check out some of our other social media. Always happy to answer any points you're not sure about. In the meantime, we will see you again on Wednesday for Welcoming Wednesdays, when we're doing some football activities this week. And remember to tune in for all the other bits and pieces too. So we will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.